Hey guys, Steve Moran here, and we are doing another Foresight TV this Friday. I am like crazy bumped up about the conversation we're going to have today. It's about creating great resident experience. Really, it's about creating great experiences for both residents and team members. I am talking to Milton McGowian, who is with Sharon Towers, and we are going to get to our conversation in just a moment. Hey guys, Steve Moran here. Welcome, Milton. Milton and I met for the first time in Orlando a week or so ago now, a week and a half ago, I guess, for the Senior Living Dining Association. And before we get started, does my shirt look too wrinkled? I put this shirt on this morning, and my wife says, you shouldn't wear that shirt. It looks wrinkled. And I like you slept it. And I said, I think it'll be okay on TV. What do you think?
Now you got patterns, so wrinkles never show in patterns, so you're good.
Well, that's what I was thinking. So, Milton, tell us about Sharon Towers and what you do with Sharon Towers.
Okay, so Sharon Towers is a CCRC. That's our fun acronym for Continuing Care Retirement Community, and I am the Vice President of Resident Services. Sharon Towers is located in South Park in Charlotte, North Carolina. We have a prime location for our community, and all the other retirement communities around us want to be in our location, but we're the lucky one. So we get the chance to be in this location in South Park, which is very exciting. Our job is we cater to seniors. We want to offer every senior a great quality of life, and within our different programs. So, for example, dining wants to offer every senior a great dining experience. So our job is to create great engagement. Our job is to, ensure we get residents to move into our community, into our life plan, and just, retire and live their life here as a resident. So that's kind of the short and tall of what we do. We're currently under construction right now because the baby boomers are coming, and we are excited to grow our campus and continue to move residents into our facility.
So how many residents are you serving right now?
So right now we have about 325 residents, and that's through all continuums of care. But Steve, the good news is when this new building's done, we're going to add another 62 residents on top of that.
Terrific. And are you going to be able to grow beyond that, or have you maxed out your space at that point?
So we will grow beyond that. So the construction I just mentioned is a certain phase. So we'll go to another phase when this construction is done, and then we'll build more and add more villas, and we'll add more apartments to our campus so we could, satisfy our wait list and get more residents to move in. So the answer is yes, we will continue to grow.
And so how is your occupancy today? It sounds like if you're adding, you must be in pretty good shape.
Exactly. I always say, when there's a wait list, then you normally don't have an occupancy problem. And
that's
we
right.
do have So we do have a wait list. So what that means is that, residents put their name on the list and they say, hey, you know what? I'm not ready right now, but I'll put my name on the list. And then when the time comes, I get to the appropriate age, I need that care, then I'll move in. So we don't have an occupancy problem. Our marketing team does an excellent job at keeping that pipeline going. And again, the reason we're building is because we want to move residents in, and we want them to be on our campus enjoying the Sharon Towers lifestyle.
Cool. So let's talk a little bit about what the Sharon Towers lifestyle looks like. There's one particular topic. I want you to help me remember is you guys are going to, in this new construction, you're actually opening a restaurant that's open to the public, right? So I want to make sure we get that, but let's just talk sort of broadly about the Sharon Towers lifestyle, what that's looked like, what makes it unique.
Okay. Yeah. So, one thing about CCRCs, they all want to ensure that when they move residents in, they can offer a certain lifestyle. So residents don't just come here to just move into a luxury apartment and just relax. No, residents move into these apartments and they want to be involved. They want to be in activities. They want to be on committees. We have a vitality and well-being program. headed up by Jessica Bork. She's the director, and they are responsible for giving our residents this awesome lifestyle. So I'll give you a quick example of a few things that we're doing in our vitality and well-being department. So next year, they are planning a trip to Ireland. So they're going to Ireland. They're going international. They're going to take their residents to Dublin. They're going to go to the Cliffs of Moher. They're going to stay in a castle one night. They're going to enjoy all the fine cuisines of Ireland. And the reason we do that is because a lot of our residents, they're used to traveling, and we want to continue that. And I think that's one way that we can continue to bring residents in and say, hey, listen, you can still travel. You can still have a great time. We will set that up. So we go on cruises. We've also been to the whiskey distillery when they go to Ireland. So those are just examples of ways that we can kind of really engage our residents and still have like a great quality of life. So that's external. That's what you do when you leave our campus. But when you're on our campus, we have a lot of amazing programming that residents can do. And some things are simple, like, playing Nintendo Wii. Residents want to stay engaged and play Wii against each other. That's something that they do. Our team has come up with different types of ways to play bingo, not just a traditional way, by using different types of music, which is very exciting. Our residents also, they get involved into the symphony, and we take them out to the symphony. And we also invite a lot of bands and a lot of different music genre on campus, like a harpist, a violinist. Those are all things that we bring on campus so our residents can enjoy. So, externally, we're flying away, we're going internationally. And also, Steve, we're also taking our residents to different places, like we took them to New Orleans and took them down Bourbon Street. So they had a great time in New Orleans. They had a great time on Bourbon Street, enjoying the local delicacies. We also went to San Antonio, Texas, and they had a great time in San Antonio. And then we went on a cruise to the Bahamas. So again, international travel, domestic traveling, and then also in our four walls, we bring in different types of talent just to kind of engage our residents so they can stay active.
So I love all of that. I guess one of the questions I have for you relative to that, though, is that's all sort of entertainment, if you will. What are you doing in the area of purpose?
So as far as purpose, and I'm glad you asked that question. So as far as purpose, I actually, I meet with residents periodically, and they do this fundraiser. So it's called a fundraiser tree, and they do this fundraiser to assist the community and to help different areas of the community. So the reason this tree was created was because they wanted to give to the local kids in school. So, and I said, well, why do you want to do that? They go, because it gives us a purpose and it gives us a way to help out the community. So they started this fundraiser tree, and they do 4 different fundraisers within it. And they collect all of these supplies for school, and they actually hang them on the hooks on the tree. And then when the tree gets filled up, they pull them down and they donate them to the areas. So that kind of is like a purpose to them. Like this is why I'm here. I'm here to help others. I want to support, our community. I want to do something right for what we have to offer. So that's one of the main things that they do, is that fundraising. And of course, we're also involved in different fundraising, like the Alzheimer's Association, United Way. Those are other fundraisers that residents, they take part in because they feel like it gives them a purpose for helping others. And they also want to help each other in the event that they're in need as well.
Cool. So I want to get to this restaurant. So you guys are going to build a restaurant that's going to serve the public and your residents. Can you talk to me about that?
Sure. So it's in later phases, but here's the deal. You always want your community to be inviting. I've worked at community, Steve, where, they have a fence all around the community. And then the main entrance is like a gate with a security guard. And you got to it's like Fort Knox, like trying to get in, which I get, security, but you can't get in. It's not inviting. People pass by it every day and they're like, oh, I wonder what's behind those gates. And nobody ever knows until they have to go on that campus. So we want to be an inviting community. So we're going to have a park built kind of adjacent to our community for the public. We want to have a restaurant come on campus, which we'll bid out, and we'll, to be our space, but they'll have the concept. And then our residents could utilize that restaurant as well as the public. So what that does, Steve, that brings individuals onto our campus. It lets individuals see what we're doing, what we're about. It's easy to drive by and see a building coming out of the ground and you don't know what's going on. In your mind, it's just another construction project. But wouldn't it be exciting for them to know, hey, that's a continuing care retirement community, but it doesn't even look like what we think a CCRC is, right? That stigma is nursing home, and they all they do is kind of sit around and watch TV all day. But they don't understand that, we have executive chefs from fine culinary schools cooking meals. We have a restaurant on campus where, there's a concept for South Park and people can come and enjoy that. And we can kind of bring them onto the campus and see what we're doing, and they can kind of look and maybe take part in it or have family members that want to take part. So the restaurant is vital to us connecting with the community. This is how you connect this campus with the community here in South Park. And I think bringing a restaurant or any type of shop on campus is vital for that to be successful. And people get to know you, they learn about you, and they go, wow, yeah, you've been over to Sharon Towers? Yeah, they have this fancy restaurant right on their campus. We eat there a couple times a month. And oh yeah, we got to know the CEO, and we met the VP, and we met some of their residents, and now we have this great relationship. So that's the purpose of bringing that restaurant onto the campus and allowing the public to utilize it, but also our residents.
So are you guys aren't gonna run it, you're gonna essentially lease the space out to a restaurateur, local restaurateur?
Correct. Yeah, we're not going to run it at all. We have our own dining program. And Steve,
why are you not going to incorporate it as part of your dining program?
Right, and that's what I'm going to answer. So, and that's not the goal. So we don't want to compete against the restaurant or incorporate into ours. We have a brand new kitchen and a brand new dining room that was just built here at Sharon Towers by renovation. We have our bar that was renovated. We have a bistro coming online. We don't need to compete with them. So here's the deal. We serve the same resident every single day. They go to the same restaurants, right? So here's a chance to go out without going out. So we don't want to compete with them. We want it to be something different. And I'll segue into this a bit, Steve. We do things in our dining program now that are exciting and engaging. We do what's called a restaurant takeover. So here's what that means. There's two ways you can do a takeover. We can have our chefs take over the menu, take over the dining venue, and do something special. Or you can partner with a local restaurant, their favorite restaurant of your residents around town, and you have them come in and take over your restaurant for one night. So those are the things you can't be afraid to do. We trust in our product. We know it's great, but we also have to give our residents a chance to explore and enjoy things in South Park, because it's not a competition with us. They live here. They're a captive audience, right? So we understand that we can have other restaurants come in, take over, do their thing, and we partner with them.
It's such a great idea. My wife supports a women's shelter here in the Sacramento area, and they do culinary training as one of the things is they do job training to get these women off the street and back into productive life, and do an amazing job. They have like an 85 or 90% success rate in getting people into jobs. But one of the things they actually do is once a month, and I never thought about this for senior living. I mean, this is brilliant. Right. So one of the things that they do as a fundraiser, in fact, I think we're going to one in a week or two, is that once a month they bring in a local chef, and that chef prepares a meal, and then they sell tickets, and we, the public, come and buy tickets, and the chef's got to have a pretty big commitment, because in that particular case, they don't the shelter doesn't even provide any of the food. So the chef's got to come not only with the expertise of the menu, but they got to bring all the ingredients along as well. And I assume you guys provide the ingredients when you do that. So
yeah, and like I said, takeover is so exciting. So think about that. That's that think outside the box mentality, right? That's that wow factor. Like you go into grandma's community and they're doing a takeover one night, and the chefs are in there just putting out great, excellent food from their local restaurant, and everybody comes down and enjoy it. So that's what's exciting. That's the buzz. That's what breaks up the monotony. That's the engagement piece, so people can enjoy it. And listen, we're excited about it.
Yeah, that's real. So how often do you do that?
So it's actually new to us, because we have a new culinary director. His name is Chad Lauterball, and it was his idea. and he's the one that came up with it. So he schedules those. So they're really new, Steve. It's not a lot under our belt because we're in the discovery in the beginning phase, but it's something that's going to be exciting because as our construction ends, this type of thing will really help us out. So we're getting ready to launch our first one, and we're really excited about it.
So, and I want to come back to actually, I got so excited about that, I got distracted. But I want to come back to this outside restaurant that you're doing. What style dining do you expect it to be? Is it going to be fine dining, casual? I'm not even sure. I'm not much of a food guy, so I'm not sure I'm even using the right term. So,
sure. No, you are using the right term. So Steve, you have to be very mindful when it comes to the concept. So first of all, you have to look at your market around the community. That's number one. So you have to look at South Park and say, all right, what do we have here? We got a Steak 48 down the street. We got a Cheesecake Factory on the other side. We have a Chinese restaurant on this side. So you have to be mindful of what's around you. Then you have to look at what's inside your facility. So inside of our building, we're going to have a restaurant style dining, which is full service. We have a bistro, and then we have a fine dining, which will be elegant dining because our normal dining will turn into fine dining. So that's your first step. Once you do that, then you can sit down and look at the bid. So in my mind, we are in South Park. It's an affluential neighborhood, nice neighborhood. So you want to watch the standard there, but also you don't want to price it out where people can't come enjoy it because then it won't work. So it has to be that mid-level price range, and you got to have a wide variety of menu so people can enjoy it. So you can have your high-end items on this side, and you can have your normal items, and you want the price point to be a fix where people can afford it, because if you price people out, they won't come and they'll just give negative comments about it. So we need to put it kind of in the middle. So maybe not fine dining, maybe type formal dining, not casual, but formal type dining is what I'm thinking.
Do you worry that residents are going to be competing with the public to get in and are going to complain if they can't get in or that kind of thing?
Not really, because it's just like any other restaurant in town. Even though it's on our campus, it is a restaurant that anybody can go to. So they understand that. If they go down the street, I mentioned Steak 48 earlier. If they go down the street to Steak 48, it's the same deal. Put your reservation in, and then you'll get in, because they know that if they come to Sharon Towers restaurants, they know it's a shoe-in. But when you step out a little bit, you have to be mindful or cautious of that. So they understand reservation systems. We run reservation systems here for Allison's. So I'm not worried about that, because it's like anything else, Steve. It'll be gangbusters when they first open, and then it'll kind of plateau out, and then people will be able to get in and enjoy it.
Right, and I think the advantage you have is if you end up on a wait list, right? I mean, look at how terrific it is. You can wait in your own common areas, your lobby areas of the community, or even in your own apartment. You don't have to sit out in the cold or in the sunshine or anything. So it's sort of a better deal, right?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, I just think it's a win-win situation. And I think people can kind of gauge, oh, you know what? I'll go to the dining room here at Sharon Towers on Monday and Tuesday. And then Wednesday, my family's coming. I'll go to the on-site restaurant. And then Thursday we'll hit the bistro. So I just think you're right, Steve. It gives you a chance to not be stuck in your car or stuck around a lot of people because you're in your home. And then, whatever type of system they do, like a lot of restaurants do the buzzing system where they kind of text you or buzz you when your table's ready. So it could be a phone call or some concierge giving us information that the table's ready. I agree.
Yeah. Terrific. So let's talk a little bit about staffing. I mean, one of the things, not surprisingly, right, was when we were at the conference last week, was that there's a huge amount of conversation about how to solve the staffing problem, how to keep people happy. How are you guys doing with staffing, and what are you doing? And I guess sort of wrapped in all of that, what are you doing relative to kind of staff and resident relationships?
So, Steve, I call it the workforce pandemic. Everybody talks about the pandemic. I call staffing the workforce pandemic because, the great resignation, a lot of individuals have lost staff, especially the hospitality industry. A lot of people want to go and do their own thing. Everybody wants to deliver food now. So, Grubhub can hire everybody, and then we suffer. So what we're doing is we are focusing on our culture, because at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. We got to have a great culture. We have to be the employer of choice. And it can't just be about, the hourly wage, because everybody can raise their wages and then people will just ask for more after that. So it has to be more than that. Anybody that's just in it for money, they're coin operated. And we need individuals that's in it for not only the money to pay their bills, but also for their heart, and they care about what they want to do. So what we do here at Sharon Towers is we bring people in based off of our guiding principles, and we have 6 of them: service, excellence, reverence, stewardship, unified beauty. And we use that to gauge and make decisions on who we bring in. Right now, we're doing okay. I got to tell you, I talked to the dining director, culinary director, Chad Lauterball, and he told me, he said, I'm finally fully staffed. Every position I had open is full. And then I talked to our environmental services director, Brad Asherbrunner, and the same thing. He's bringing people in. He has a few positions open, but we're getting there, because what's happening, Steve, is the boomerang effect. And what that means is people who have left communities are turning around and coming back. And right now, that's 70% are coming back, which that number just blows me away. And the reason is people had a chance to go out and say, do I want to do something else? They were part of the Great Resignation, and now they're starting to come back. So the relationship with our residents is, because you asked that part of the question, is they understand, they get it. They have family members, their children, who are also in that workforce out there. So they understand. They have family members that run businesses, so they could relate to it. They're actually wanting to assist us. They want to help us. They're not just saying, oh, we don't have any, that's not the case here, because we're doing okay. And I got to tell you, the construction does help us out a little bit, because we're under construction. So we have a little more time than other communities who are not under construction. So we're doing okay. Our culture is there. We practice empathy. We develop our employees. We care about who comes in the door. We genuinely care about the people who work here. It's not just about coming in, doing a job, and going home. That doesn't work. Those days are over. We bring people in. We care about them. We want them to succeed, and we care about them as a person. And that's what keeps them here.
Okay, I want to hold you for a second here. I'm going to dig a little deeper into this, because you know what? I'm going to give a caveat to this. I actually met one guy who was an exception to this, but I think I've only met one leader who didn't say, we care about our people, right? Everybody says that. And there was actually one guy I met who basically told me he didn't care about his people. They were just like a tool to him. And he had terrible, he started telling me these stories. Anyway, the story for another time. But generally, everybody says they care about their people. So I want to actually dig a little bit deeper into how you guys really demonstrate that, because I think that this is the most important thing for senior living to get right. I think there are 2 things that senior living needs to get completely right. One is really taking care of the people, and the other is creating great experiences for residents. And so we've touched a little bit on both of those. But so what are you actually doing to take care of your people?
No, and Steve, I get it. And you're right. Anybody can put it on their website and say it. But, and I say this too, you have to actually do it. You have to live it. It has to be part of your culture. So here at Sharon Towers, we have multiple departments. We have nurses, we have CNAs, we have dining personnel, we have EVS. And when I say that we really care about them, that's exactly what I mean. When it comes to a person, we care about them. So as far as development, we create growth plans. We create plans to help them move to the next level if they want to. In reference to, like, when they're having issues and personal issues, that's the number one reason people leave jobs, is when they have a personal issue and the management doesn't care. That's the number one reason. They'll walk out in 2 seconds. We're different in that. We dig deep if they allow us to. We get to the point where we say, how can we help you? We have resources that can help you. People have childcare problems. People have car problems. Here at Sharon Towers, we actually have a hardship fund, which is funded. So people can take advantage of that and help them when they're in a time of need. We have a PLT that people could save up to take vacation, but in an emergency, they could sell that to the company for cash to take care of an emergency in their life. Those are just a couple examples of we're putting resources there to say, hey, we really care. We know you don't have childcare. We know you don't have, the vehicle to get to work. Here's some resources to help get you back. Being flexible with the schedule, letting people kind of manage that and not microing that. It cares about them. Tuition reimbursement. You're going to college. You want to do great. How can we step in and help pay for some of those things that help get you on the right track? We'll help you to the point, Steve, where sometimes the people will get helped by us and get developed by us, and then they'll leave us, and we're okay with that, because that's when you say, I cared about you and not that you were here working for us. So we helped you out. We developed you. You got a credential behind your name, and then you made an exit to go take a job that's going to pay you a lot more and be a part of that career development. Me understanding that means I truly care about you. And as part of my research I'm doing on employee development, that allows me to think and research and go through processes and say, this person is here to help us, but if I don't make sure they're happy and they need what they need and they don't practice self-care, they're not going to take care of our residents the right way. So that's why we have to be a part of that. So we actually do this here. Every director cares about our employees. And it's not just about t-shirts and food to make them happy. It's about, looking at the livable wage, looking at that hourly rate. Are we competitive? Are we giving them a good market rate? We look at that all the time and make adjustments. We look at scheduling. How can we fit your lifestyle? Somebody who has young children or just want to have a different lifestyle. We look at that. That's how we show that we genuinely 100% care. And if we do something great for you and you do move on, we love you because we know we did the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it, to me, the idea that somebody learns some skills and ultimately makes the decision to move to another job because you've created the opportunity for them to do that is like you never want to leave but if somebody's going to leave, you want them to leave because they're going to a better opportunity, not because they go away mad, right?
You got it.
And the other thing I loved about what you were just saying, Milton, is that I think I see a lot of organizations putting together big programs to do retention, and I just don't think they make any sense. Big programs are hard to sustain,
right,
and they get bogged down in their own weight. But what works 100% of the time is me as a leader caring about you, the person who's working for me, and saying, what can I do to make your life better here at work and then at home as well, right?
So I'll give you a perfect example of something so simple with what you just said. So let's say an employee's working on the line. They're working on the line. They're doing their job. Everything's great. And, the manager comes up to them and go, hey, you know what? You've been doing a great job. Here's what I need you to do. You are off for the rest of the day. You'll get paid for the rest of your shift. Go ahead and take off. Go home and be with your family. I'm going to cover your shift for the rest of the day. That's a perfect example of somebody just jumping in, allowing them to just, hey, this is a reward for something you've been doing great, and we take over for you. That means they genuinely care, because a manager that doesn't care won't do that. They'll just walk around and go, okay, you're doing a good job, pat you on the back, keep going. No, step in, get in the trenches. And you don't have to do it every day, but you do it at certain intervals. And that shows an employee, you know what? That guy cares about me. That's what they want.
Yeah, no, it makes all the difference in the world.
Sure.
So here's a fascinating question for me: is how do you make sure? So first off, I think that kind of caring, that attitude, has to start at the C-suite, right?
Yes.
And you're a single site, so it's sort of easier there.
Yeah.
But I actually believe it could be done across a big enterprise. But my question is even in your organization, how do you make sure that your department heads have the same attitude that your senior leadership does?
It starts at the top. And I got to tell you, our CEO, Angela Rigsby, my boss, it starts with her, her personality, her behavior, which is excellent. And I'm learning and growing from her. And I will tell you this, there's a quote, I think it was said by the Fortune 500 American Express CEO, Ken Chenault. He goes, judge the character of the CEO, and that's how you can make the decision. So to answer your question, it starts at the top, and it starts with all of us. And as executives, we have to ensure that the directors, buy into that culture and buy into what we're doing. Because you're right, if we're not singing the same song, it won't work. And it can't be one person doing it, because what will happen? All the other directors will stick out like a sore thumb. So we all have to be on the same page. When we recruit directors, we look for that. We look for that to see, what their personality is, what their behavior traits are. We do Enneagrams, and we learn everybody's different personalities. So when we work with them, so you have to ensure that your leadership they have to foster that, and it has to be a part of what we do every day. Because if it's just me doing it or my CEO doing it, it's not going to work, and we'll stick out like a sore thumb. So
that's the big this is really the big challenge, right? Is that if I'm a CEO, I'm in a very small organization, so we have including me, we have 9 people, and so I know all 9 people who very, very well. I know a lot about their lives, their needs, their personalities. They know a lot about me, sometimes probably more than they wish they did. But anyway, and so we have this relationship. But I sort of have this dream to be a bigger organization. If I had 20 or 30 people, it would be really hard for me to do that. And if you've got 300 residents, I'm guessing you probably have 250 or 300 team members, right? And that might be manageable for at least some CEOs would be able to remember all those names. I don't know that I would, but they certainly couldn't have. Your CEO couldn't have a relationship with all 300 that was really meaningful. And so being able to transfer that down to the next level and the next level and the next level, however many levels you got, is so powerful. So
it is, and you know what? We have to operate like that because it just makes everyone happy and it makes our organization successful. And again, it all goes back to our residents who we're here to give a great quality of life to. And if we practice all those things that you just said, then we'll be successful. And again, back to the CEO, you're right. They can't touch every single person. So that's why we have layers. And that's why she's in her position. So she has to ensure and trust into her, the next layer, which is us, and then the directors. And we have to hold each other accountable. When we're in meetings or we're on campus, if we know we have to be a certain way, then we have to make sure the next person is accountable for that, because especially if they say they would do it. So accountability among ourselves is vital. And we see that works. We know it works. We say, you know what, this works. People are happy. People are giving us positive feedback. Residents are happy. They're moving in. We got a wait list as long as my arm. So we have to hold each other accountable. And as the organizations get bigger, like you said, it does get harder and it gets challenging, but you have to use that same method and just duplicate it over a large organization, which can be challenging.
You bet. So we're about out of time. Is there anything else we should be touching bases on that I missed?
No, well, just as far as our culinary services, man, we talked about a lot of things, about the engagement piece. I just want people to know that our goal is to come in every day and create something new and different for our residents to keep them exciting. Doing wine pairings, bringing in a sommelier to talk about the wine while we produce a great meal. Anytime we can be outside of the box and do something crazy and creative, we talked about the pop-ups and doing a pop-up and doing something exciting. Those are the things that keeps our residents engaged, and they enjoy and love your program, because they know that down the road it's going to be something new and different. And I look forward to, engaging with others who are doing the same thing.
Cool. Well, Milton, thank you very much. I love your passion for the industry, for the people, for the teams. It's so refreshing. Appreciate your spending a little time sharing your wisdom with that. And with that, we are going to say goodbye until next week.
Thank you, Steve.